Hi folks, this is all the fruit. Yesterday I bought some cranberries. I bought them just for the video because I'm not a great fan of cranberries. They are just too sour for me. Well, there was a time not so long ago when cranberries were very hard to come by in Germany or in most parts of Europe. I remember 20 years ago when the market was not that internationalized like in the years before the turbo globalization. I had a US girlfriend, and a lot of my friends, they wanted stuff like, well, marshmallows, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter, and of course cranberry products, which you couldn't find in Germany. Which is strange because Germany and Europe, they have a native species of cranberry, Vaccinium oxycoccus, sorry. It even grows in the hills behind Heidelberg. Not here, but a couple miles further away. It also grows in the US, but in the US, in North America, the species Vaccinium macrocarpon is being grown. And the way it's being grown is incredibly interesting. I should make a video of a cranberry farm. I don't even need to go to the US for that, because those cranberries were grown in Germany. Well, why are the cranberries basically the most typical US or North American fruit? For me, when people would ask me about the North American fruit, I would say cranberries. They come from North America, and also the US and Canada are the biggest producers, especially New England. If you know New England, you know that labor there is very expensive. So how can New England be the world leader in the production of those tiny fruit? Oops, I lost one. Well, no big loss. Well, and why did the cranberries become the most popular North American fruit? Well, the thing is, despite being so small, it's possible to harvest them without much manual labor, even with quite primitive technology. You see, the cranberries, the plants are just like little hair-like stems with tiny leaves growing in the moss of swamps, of bogs. Well, and if you can control the water level of the bog or the cranberry field, you can flood it, and then all those fruits, which are quite light, a lot of fruit are lighter than air, but cranberries are particularly light because they have those four cavities filled with air. And the cranberries will swim to the surface. So if you can make a giant field, many hectares or acres, and flood it when the cranberries are ripe, you can flush them out. Then at the edge of the field, at the dam, where you have a place to leave the water out, you just put a big net and collect the cranberries. Well, of course, then you end up with a lot of good ripe cranberries, rotten cranberries, dirt, dead bugs, and so on. How do you sort those? Well, those four cavities, they have another interesting feature. Well, maybe I should demonstrate that on the stairs. Okay, let's go down there. Well, when you drop cranberries on a staircase, they bounce. See how they bounce? Like little flummies. Well, the rotten ones, or all the trash that's being harvested together with them, doesn't bounce. So basically, the old settlers, they just threw whole buckets or baskets of cranberries down a staircase and collected the bouncing ones at the bottom, while the bad ones and the dead bugs, they just got stuck on the upper stairs. Very, very interesting. At the end, of course, you can imagine that it didn't take very long. Actually, it happened in the 19th century that, machines for cranberry sorting were invented. And basically those cranberries are the top quality cranberries. What happens with the bottom quality cranberries and all the dirt and dead bugs? well, of course, you eat those too. But they are being made into different cranberry products where you don't need whole cranberries. And yeah, since they were available in big quantities, you could grow them on those boggy, sour, infertile lands which are so common in the northeastern US and throughout Canada, where very few other things grow, but those things would grow. I saw a lot of cranberry fields in the Pine Barrens behind New York, which are a very infertile area. And so yeah, what do you do then with cranberries? I guess our North American friends, they will have a lot of ideas, but here in Europe, despite cranberries being grown on a teeny tiny scale for a long time, they only took off in recent years. And the European production is still quite minuscule. Well, you can eat them fresh. Nah. Crunchy and very sour. You can make cranberry juice and use them for a lot of drinks. Well, what do you do when you make cranberry juice? You take the remaining part of the cranberry, infuse it with a lot of sugar water and probably also juice from other fruits, which makes the cranberry lose its standard taste, but then you can use cranberries for a lot of cooking, for salty, like for savory and for sweet recipes. Really tasty. However, in a lot of those recipes, the cranberries do not actually have a cranberry taste, but the taste of some other fruit, because they were infused with its juice. But yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said, I don't like the cranberries so much. And even those dried cranberries, they're infused with a lot of sugar and oil and other things. They are not just dried cranberries. Yeah, a fruit which is pretty sour. That's why it's not my favorite. A very versatile fruit. One of the few small berries that can be collected with very little manual labor. I think that's really the important part about the cranberry. I would say a raspberry or blackberry or strawberry, or especially European blueberry, they are highly superior to the cranberry, but they are much more difficult to collect. Yeah, actually they have a lot of edible ornamental berries which are more or less on par or even tastier than those cranberries. They are not just sour, they are also a bit tart. Not too bad. They also have some nice sour fruit flavor. They're healthy. They can help in urinary infections, especially in young women. Don't know why they don't work so well in men or in older people who have a lot of catheters and things which can get you a urinary tract infection. It would be great if the cranberries worked well in older people too, but they don't. But for some reason, they are good against urinary infections in young women. However, not when you eat some candy bar with some cranberries in it. You should really eat either the fresh fruit or use the cranberries in some medicinal way. Or use some cranberry medicine. Well, folks, those cranberries are too sour for me. So now I'm gonna go harvest my figs. And you, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful city of Heidelberg. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.